Okay, this time out, we're going to take this site. I think this is the one I'm going to choose, following on from the last chapter. If you've seen the previous chapters, you'll know that we created this layout in Squarespace using the AI layout builder, or the starting questionnaire that we go through if we're very new to Squarespace. Alternatively, with this approach, in the previous chapter, we covered how to find a template instead of going through the AI onboarding guide. So hopefully that makes sense. So what we're going to do this time, what I'm going to do this time, is give you a whistle-stop tour of the admin within Squarespace. I'm not going to be going into a lot of depth here. This is just to cover it so you know where all of the main features are. And I'm going to start with a little tip that I provide everyone when I provide training. That I tell everyone when I provide training. And that is to press the / key. That brings up this quick search option. And it's a lifesaver. So just to click off it once again, I'm pressing the / key, which is that one. And that brings up the search, and we can then go into different sections like pages, which can also be found on the left menu here, but it gives us that option to jump into it from this menu as well. I find it really good for things like CSS or styles. And if we're really struggling to find out where everything is, this can be a savior for you, especially if you're coming across from other platforms like Wix or WordPress. If you're coming across from WordPress, the one thing you'll be delighted with is the look and feel of this interface. I'm currently building websites in WordPress and Squarespace simultaneously, but from a designer toolkit perspective and just overall interface and look and feel of the admin area, nothing beats Squarespace in my opinion. So let's look at some of the options here. We can start with site styles. And we had a limited number of color options in the template selector area at the start. But here we can edit the color palette, or we can click on this and then choose from different color palettes available to us. We could even just go with this one and click on it once more. And instead of choosing different options, we've also got the option to upload our logo, for example, or signage to select colors based on the image. And here we can choose different color options. So I'm going to go with mint green, but bring it slightly more towards the yellows. I'm going to do this by eye. And actually, whilst we're at this, I'm just going to nip across to easeltools.com. This is a website that I built that's kind of half website, half app. And there's loads of different color palettes that you can choose from here. And I'm updating loads of color palettes on a regular basis. And it gives you all of the hexadecimal values at any given time. And by the autumn of 2025, I should have a user account option, which will be on a very small subscription each month aimed towards heavy user designers, where you've got things like image shrinker tools, icon libraries, textures, color palettes, a load of custom code. And you can use all of these free for now by just going to easeltools.com. But what we're going to be doing is creating user account option on here, meaning that you can save all your favorites or unlock more advanced plugins and custom code generators. This is something I'm building, and I'm really enjoying the process of building this together at the moment. But for now, if you want to go across and just have a look at some of the options here and access them for free, feel free to go right ahead. That's easeltools.com. But anyway, back to our site. We're going to go with this as our color palette. It's quite striking. And what we're going to do with this color, sometimes we've got to select a different color and come back to it if it's not showing properly. And we're going to get that darker tone more in line with the green. And the same with this one as well. It's actually black at the moment, but we're just going to bring it up a slight bit to just take the edge off it. There we go. So now we can see our new color palette. We can see this doesn't quite work. The green on the gray, they're too similar. So there's an accessibility issue that we need to look at there, but we can fix that later on. But that's the styles. At this point, we can press save. One thing to note with Squarespace is there's no version tracking or autosave feature. So every time we press save, it will then lock down our changes. So I always recommend save regularly if you can. The other main area outside of styles, and one thing we didn't do there, was to look at font options, buttons, and form styling. Feel free to go and have a play around with that, especially if you just started a free trial. Use it as a digital playground to see what options are available to you. The other main area would be pages. And we can see all of the demo pages here. So the one thing that's a bugbear for me is I always like to have my homepage on the main navigation. Maybe it's because I've been building websites since the 90s, but my ethos follows that of keep it as simple as possible. We follow the KISS methodology, keep it simple, stupid. And if you don't have the home option on there, yes, you can argue that people will know to click on the logo or site title in the top left to go back to the home page, but you'd be amazed how many people still don't know that is an option. I've trained many people who, when I point that out to them, they're almost kicking themselves that they hadn't already spotted it. But our job as designers is often to make the process as easy as possible. It also fleshes out the menu, especially if we're struggling for pages on our site. So the menu options here, we've got the option to drag and move them either on and off the menu. So we've got main menu and then not linked, or we can reorder them within the menu and it will update on the fly. No need to save these particular changes. Then we can go into the cog, which goes into the page settings, our page title, navigation title, which is what appears on the menu, URL flag, which is really important for search engines. So if it's for a product or service page, we want to make sure that that service is listed out. If it's a service for a local area and you only want to target a geographical region, then you could add service hyphen and then the locale in the URL slug. That's one of the main areas that Google uses for ranking your pages and for identifying what you want to be found for that content, who your audience is. Navigation, we can hide the header and footer on individual pages. The SEO section, I'm going to be creating an SEO basics course for Squarespace, so we're going to be going into more detail in that particular course. Social image, so if we share this page on social media, we can add in a custom image, meaning that it doesn't try and inject the first image it finds on the page, or worse still, the logo that doesn't look quite right because it hasn't got the right spacing around it. Then we go into more advanced options where we can inject header code into the page header. Once again, I'm going to be looking to build a basics course for getting started with custom code, aimed very much at beginners with Squarespace. And that's pretty much it. We can see different types of pages. So we've got our standard pages. If we click on the plus option here, we can add in the blank pages, which is what I do most of the time. Page layouts are just different templates that we can add in to start off with. Blog would be, you'd add one blog and then add multiple articles to that blog section. Store, again, same approach. We'd add one store and then we'd add multiple products to that store. Portfolio, once again, same format and same for events as well. And video library and course library once again. Then we go into other options. So member sites would be a collection of pages behind a password protected area or even a paywall. Drop down is slightly different in terms of this will allow you to group multiple pages into a drop down. I'm just using this as a quick example now. So if we're struggling for space on our menu, we can reorder like this and we can see the submenu now with our pages in there. The reason it's not called a submenu is because this no longer is this is not a link itself. It is because new dropdown, as shown here, is not a link. It's just a folder for the pages underneath it. So if we had a name for this and we wanted it to be a page as well, what we'd do is add another page at the top of that menu, which kind of repeats the same content. Okay, I think we're going to stop it there. We've had a quick look at styles. We've had a quick look at the pages section, the two main regions of our Squarespace ecosystem. We've also got the option here to preview between desktop and mobile view. Whenever building a section in Squarespace, I'd always recommend editing it in mobile before we jump across and work on the next section. That means everything works swimmingly and we don't end up spending hours and hours fixing our site for mobile view, or we're still forgetting about it altogether. Many designers will work, and if you've been an experienced web designer and moving across to Squarespace, you'll probably understand the mobile first methodology, where we design on mobile and then design on desktop. Squarespace has a limited range of functionality in terms of adding blocks and some of the more advanced features on mobile view. So Squarespace will be better if you design on desktop first, then go in and redesign on mobile, quickly moving things around and get it to fit in a format that suits you. I could probably create, and I probably will create, a mini course specifically on responsive design in Squarespace. But to keep it really short, I would recommend a mobile separate approach where we're designing for desktop and we're designing for mobile, giving them equal priority at the point where we're looking into it. If we don't fix a mobile version of this section, then we save it as a favorite to use on another page or on another section of this site. What we're going to end up doing is having to fix that mobile issue on multiple sections or multiple pages at the end of the project. So it's best to bite the bullet, fix on desktop, fix on mobile, then save it as a favorite. Then you know you've got something that's approved to reuse. So any adjustments because of new content will be minimal. And then the final option is the preview option here, this arrow that switches between preview and edit mode. Works best with the desktop view. Hope you found this chapter helpful. I'll see you in the next one.